my initial thoughts here are the Niners' depth. Somehow, the depth is the winner of the game more than any single player. Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin. This is where we talk college and NFL. And we're going to review the 49ers win over the LA Rams on Thursday night. The game just ended, and hopefully I can earn a like and a subscribe before the video is over if you like how I do here. All right, so my initial thoughts here are the Niners' depth. Somehow, the depth is the winner of the game more than any single player. If you're following the Niners at all, you know that 3 starting receivers were out. Bosa's gone for the year. Players were dropping throughout the game. Mac Jones is starting in the place of Brock Purdy. There's just George Kittle's not there. Juwan Jennings isn't there. Ricky Pearsall. And even other guys on the depth chart that unless you're a hardcore Niners fan, you wouldn't even know. Guys like Watkins, a draft pick receiver, wasn't there. So they were going into this game pretty severely undermanned. And it was, they came out on fire. They obviously came out and scored the first 2 touchdowns. And in the first quarter, completely dominated the time of possession. It was something like 12 minutes to 3 in the first quarter. They 112 yards to -6 for the Rams. This is all first quarter stuff. The Niners just completely dominated them. It was not what people were expecting. The broadcast also mentioned it, mostly because the Rams look really, really good. Probably should have beat the Eagles last week. The Rams look like one of the best teams in the NFL. That defensive line is really salty. Stafford has not lost a step. Nakua's playing like one of the best receivers in the league. Devontae Adams is his connection with Stafford starting to come around. And both running backs look good. The team's just kind of pretty complete over there and playing at a high level. If it weren't for 2 block kicks in the fourth quarter, they should have beat the Eagles last year. So it was obvious. Most people coming into this game looked at that and thought, okay, the Rams, even though it was a loss, they're a strong team. And the Niners show up limping into this game with Mac Jones literally limping. It looked like he was barfing in overtime there. So Jones is on a bad leg. Missing their 4 top receivers, I guess. So it was not expected that they would come out looking that dominant at the beginning of the game. Now, with that said, McCaffrey looks like his offensive player of the year self. And I guess if you've got that, there's always a chance. If he's playing that well, there's always a chance. But it's hard to overstate how big of a deal the Mac Jones acquisition is and how good he is fitting into this offense. And he might follow along with this narrative of, and they were mentioning on the broadcast too, this narrative of QBs that are resurrecting their career. Kind of like Sam Darnold. Like all of a sudden, where has this been his whole career? So now it looks good. Baker Mayfield in his second iteration of himself looks great in Tampa Bay. And it's maybe that speaks more to the dysfunction of the organizations they were with versus versus them as players. So I know there's some funny memes showing Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold both in Carolina Panthers jerseys and thinking these guys look great where they are now. So maybe it was the organizations all along, and maybe Mac Jones just wasn't where he needed to be, and he fits with Shanahan. My guess is Jones would fit with McVay too, and with Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings. Like basically the Shanahan coaching tree, my guess is Jones would fit with any of them. He could probably pull off the Dolphins offense really well too. So, Jones is 3-0. He doesn't, at this point, you could almost say San Francisco has 2 legitimate starting QBs, not necessarily Purdy and then, let's just see if we can survive a couple games with Jones. I don't see why Jones can't lead this team for as many games as he needs to play. He went 33 for 49, 342 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. And he was hobbled. They still ran him. He ran 4 carries, 5 yards. Those were all like quarterback sneaks. So he played pretty tough for how beat up he was. I mean, at the end of the game, it looked like he could barely move. It did look like he was literally dry heaving on the sideline. Maybe he ate too many bananas. I don't know how many bananas you're really supposed to eat during a game. But the depth of this team is a big deal. And the rookie acquisitions they made this year, the draft picks they made this year have really come through. And this is a big deal. So this is kind of like, it's a little bit in parallel to the Rams, but almost maybe a year later. So the Rams defensive line, Fisk and Verse were big time picks that totally worked out. And that's kind of like how they reloaded so quickly after Aaron Donald retired. And you kind of think, okay, Donald's gone and Von Miller's moved on, and they don't have the defensive back. I can't think of it. Ramsey. So it's like, okay, you won your Super Bowl. Now it might be in rebuild, but they just reloaded. But that's because they hit on draft picks. So this year, the Niners hit on some picks, and two specifically on the defense. So Mikael Williams is he's not filling in for Bosa, but he's part of what is bolstering the defensive line, especially now that Bosa's out. And specifically, two rookies ended up making the two plays of the game. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle, punched the ball out to save the touchdown on the goal line there. And then Marquis Seigel made the game-ending hit on the fourth down. So you've got two rookies who came through massively to seal this victory, to win the game for the 49ers. Not to take away from all these other players, but there were two unbelievable plays here, and those were it. And this defense has bowed up even without Warner. This defense has some depth, and there's something to it now, and I think this all due to Saleh being back. I'm sure the Niners fans are so happy that Robert Saleh is back, and this team can do it seems like it can do it with whoever's on the field. And then Kendrick Bourne, the wide receiver that came over, he played for a few years with Mac Jones with the Patriots. Clearly, Jones and Bourne have some kind of connection. Bourne goes for 10 receptions, 142 yards. I mean, these two were, Bourne is you could say is the offensive player of the game if you're not going to just hand it to Mac Jones every time. But Jones played completely outstanding. So, if you've got this kind of depth, Bourne could step in. Jake Tonjes is playing really good in Kittle's absence. Demarcus Robinson, that was a key pickup coming from the Rams. So, it's thin. There's not too much left there. Valdez-Scantling had like one catch, but there's enough here when McCaffrey's playing this well, and you have one other receiving threat that can really shoulder the load the way Bourne did today. That seems to be just enough, and some tight end production here that Tonjes seems to be emerging as the go-to tight end. He had seven receptions for 41 yards and a TD. That's big time. This is the guy who caught that kind of prayer of a pass to win the game where Purdy sort of just threw it up and hoped someone would get it, and it was Tonjes. And since then, it looks like he's got the confidence to step up and be kind of the man in Kittle's absence. So, this is a huge win. Now they've gone they're 3-0 in division right now. And they've beat each team in the division once already. So that's massive. That's really massive right now. So this is a big time win. I think with all of the injuries, when Bosa got hurt, like all of these injuries that kind of put a downer on the season, or at least the expectations of the season, even though the team came out hot. It was like, how long can you really last just with depth? But this team might actually have the depth to make this work. And now we got to see if Mac Jones is going to be healthy. Because he's getting beat up. Like we're kind of running out of quarterbacks here. But good for him. What a gritty performance for Jones. He just looked so beat up this whole game. And it's just impressive performance when you're technically on your backup QB and you're down. You could argue you're down your three top receivers, your best tight end. Well, probably the best tight end currently in the game right now. You're just missing so many pieces, and so many of the young players came through to get this win, and came through big time when it mattered most. Like that God, that's a big deal. That's such a big deal. And you got to give the Rams credit for getting back into this game. It looked like this game could get away from them, but they fought back, which is how you would expect a good team with a Super Bowl winning quarterback to fight back, and they did, and they got back into this game. But kicking, I had a note here saying kicking is becoming a much bigger factor in these games, and the Rams kicker, he's got this. Cardi has this thing. He's perfecting that knuckleball thing, and the opening kick, the Niners almost fumbled the opening kick and turned it over just because of that knuckleball nature. But then he kind of blows it and misses getting it into the landing zone when he's trying to be fancy with the knuckleball again. So I guess it's a double-edged sword. When it works, it's a tough one. But if he doesn't quite catch it, he can park the other team right on the 40-yard line, and he did that later in the game, giving the Niners a short field. And he also missed a field goal. So here we go again with field goals, a missed field goal and a blocked extra point, which was such a massive factor in this game. That 1 point made such a huge difference. If they got that extra point, we could be talking about the Rams, getting this win here. So Eddie Pinheiro went 4 for 4 on field goals. So I mean, you could also say this whole thing came down to kicking, and San Fran went 4 for 4 and 2 for 2 on extra points. It's amazing we even have to point out like extra points now. I mean, just before they moved the extra point back, you wouldn't even discuss, they went 2 for 2 with extra points. But when you look here, the Rams went 1 for 2 on field goals and 2 for 3 on extra points. And you could argue that offsetting of the points there is what made this game kind of work out the way it did. I mean, I know that it still went to overtime, but the Rams probably could have won this one in regulation if they didn't miss a field goal and the extra point. So it's kind of like a cliche to say it's a team win. They did it with depth. Like, it's almost like every cliche you can think of fits for the Niners in this game. Their backups played gritty. Their rookies came through in the clutch. You could say they won the special teams, obviously, which you can never say that about the Niners, that they won the special teams battle as well. So it's sort of that's good news for a Niners fan. It's just really good news that a game where I think you could argue most of the country thought, they're just limping in here. How could they beat the Rams? The Rams just look like the better team across the board. But, I mean, they managed with what they had. Now, in the second half, their pass rush was nothing to shout about, but the defense did what it needed to do in the most critical moments. And that wasn't one of those lucky fumbles. He punched that out. Collins punched that out. And Warner, I think, is the best in the NFL at doing this, but you can see it happening all across the NFL. Somewhere, and I don't remember this 10, 20, 30 years ago, like way back when I first started watching football. I don't remember people purposely going in with a fist to punch the ball out. And it's happening with regularity now. And I mean, you just got to know that's coming in those situations. And Collins obviously is an enormous man. So even with two hands on the football, he might be just big and powerful enough to punch it out. But he planted that punch right on the ball and out it came. And that was 100% a forced fumble, not the running back just sort of losing control. Because I know there's always the argument that many turnovers are not really the defense forcing it. It's the offense kind of blew it. Kind of like the other turnover, which was Stafford just pitched the ball, and they put that one on Stafford actually, and he just didn't receive the ball. It just bounced off his fingers. That's not the Niners forcing it. That's the Niners just getting lucky and recovering a missed pitch. So in one case, the Rams handed them one, and in this case, the San Francisco on the 2-yard line, they 100% took it away from them. So, I mean, this is every bit a team win as you could ever get a team win. The defense made enormous plays, the offense made big plays, and got ahead, and they were front running the game, and that's the position this team would rather be in, and it's the way I'm sure every team would rather front run. There's not actually a team that wants to be from behind immunity. But most teams are going to play better if they're ahead in the game. And so coming out 14-0 really put them in a position to weather this storm and still be in a position to win the game here at the end. So, and again, I know it went to overtime, but if they didn't jump out to that big lead, maybe this doesn't get to overtime. So, I mean, they won in all three phases of the game here, and Mac Jones looks every bit like a starting quarterback should look in this league, and he's 3-0 with the Niners. And as long as he can stay upright until Purdy's healthy to come in, Niners are in good position here. I mean, they're 4-1. This is an impressive win. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's kind of all I got. I just wanted to get this out real quick right after the game, get the thoughts out and get some of my notes out. So let me know what you think I missed, and let me know what you think I got right. And if you're still with me, let me know if I earned a like and a subscribe for this video. All right, we'll catch you later.